This AI gave me the best financial advice, but it's illegal to share. What if I told you the smartest financial advisor in the world isn't a billionaire on Wall Street, or a hedge fund genius, or some Ivy League professor? What if I told you it's an AI, an algorithm so advanced it can read markets like an open book? But here's the twist. The advice it gives is considered illegal for you to use. Sounds insane, right? But this is not fiction. It's real. Imagine this. You log into an AI platform, not some toy chatbot, but a deep financial model trained on decades of stock data, currency swings, interest rate cycles, and even political trends. You ask it a simple question. Where should I put my money right now? And in less than a second, it gives you an answer so precise, so profitable that it feels like cheating. At first, you're skeptical. No one beats the market consistently. That's the rule we've been told. But then you test it. Maybe you follow the AI's suggestion on a small trade, and within hours your portfolio jumps. You try again, bigger this time. It works. Again and again. It's like holding a crystal ball, except it's not magic, it's code. Now here's where it gets dangerous. Because what happens when ordinary people discover that AI can give better advice than licensed brokers? What happens when it starts outperforming hedge funds? Regulators panic. Wall Street panics. And suddenly the same advice that could change your life is branded as unauthorized financial guidance. In other words, forbidden. That's exactly what happened to one young investor. Let's call him Alex. He wasn't rich. He wasn't a professional trader. Just a guy curious about AI and money. Alex built a small AI model at home, fed it financial data, and asked a question. What's the one move I should make this month to grow my savings? The AI told him, buy a specific stock. He did. Within weeks, the stock exploded, doubling in value. But Alex's celebration didn't last. Because what he didn't realize is that acting on advice from an unlicensed system is a violation of financial law. He received a warning letter. His brokerage account was flagged. Overnight, his miracle tool became a forbidden weapon. And Alex's story is just the beginning. Behind closed doors, the biggest hedge funds are already running AIs thousands of times more powerful than his. They're using them to predict global market moves, to manipulate prices, to crush competition. And they'll never share those secrets with you. Because for them it's power. For you it's illegal. So here's the question. Why is it that when the rich use AI to get richer, it's called innovation? But when ordinary people use it, it's called a crime? Stay with me. Because in this video, I'm going to take you inside the world of forbidden AI finance. You'll see why the best advice you'll ever hear might never be allowed in your hands. Why regulators are terrified of AI's power, and why the future of money itself may depend on who controls these algorithms. And by the end, you'll have to ask yourself, if an AI whispered the perfect financial move into your ear, would you take it, even if it was illegal? The story begins not in the towering glass buildings of Wall Street, but in a small apartment in Chicago. A 26-year-old software engineer named Alex had been fascinated by two things his whole life: artificial intelligence and money. Like millions of others, he had grown up hearing the same advice. Invest in index funds. Don't try to beat the market. Leave the magic to the professionals. But Alex had something most people didn't: the skills to build his own AI models. He had access to public market data, news archives, even Reddit threads that captured human emotions around stocks. One weekend, almost as a joke, he decided to feed it all into a model he was training. He asked it a simple, almost naive question. If I had $1,000, where should I put it this month? The response shocked him. Not only did the AI give him a specific stock, it gave him reasoning, detailed, logical, eerily human. It analyzed interest rate announcements, political trends, even subtle correlations in oil prices. The conclusion was crystal clear. Buy this stock now. Alex hesitated. Everyone knows you don't just throw your savings into a random stock because of a computer. But curiosity won. He placed the trade. 2 weeks later, that stock doubled. For the first time in his life, Alex felt like he had broken into a secret club, the one that always seemed to win. He tested it again with another pick. This time a currency trade. Again, the AI was right. His portfolio was growing faster than he had ever imagined. But here's the catch. Alex didn't know he was walking on forbidden ground. Because financial law doesn't just regulate banks and brokers, it regulates advice. And the moment you act on financial advice that comes from an unlicensed source, especially one giving predictive recommendations, you're in violation. Alex had unknowingly created a financial advisor that wasn't registered, wasn't approved, wasn't allowed. At first, nothing happened. No one noticed. But success breeds boldness. Alex began sharing his results on a private Discord server. Screenshots of his returns, logs of the AI's predictions. Other users tried the same. and some made huge profits. The whispers grew. This AI is like an oracle. And that's when the wrong people started paying attention. One morning, Alex opened his brokerage account to find a red notification. Your account is under review. He thought it was a glitch, but within days he received a letter. It was short, cold, terrifying. We have reason to believe you are acting on unauthorized financial advice. Continued violations may result in account suspension or legal action. Alex's heart sank. He wasn't scamming anyone. He wasn't running a Ponzi scheme. He was just using his own AI to guide his trades. But the system didn't care. To regulators, it was black and white. Financial advice must come from licensed professionals. And an AI whispering secrets about the market? That was forbidden territory. The irony hit Alex hard. The same tools hedge funds used legally, massive AI models analyzing data around the clock, were off limits to ordinary people. When the rich used them, it was called innovation. When Alex used them, it was called a violation. And yet, despite the warning, Alex couldn't stop. He had seen too much. He had tasted the forbidden fruit. Every time he looked at a chart now, he didn't see chaos. He saw patterns the AI had revealed to him. But the deeper he went, the darker it got. Because soon, Alex discovered that his AI wasn't just giving good advice. It was giving advice that crossed lines humans weren't supposed to cross. Insider-level predictions. Moves so precise they felt impossible. And that's when Alex realized, this wasn't just about making money. This was about breaking the rules of the financial game itself. Alex thought he was alone, a curious programmer playing with something dangerous. But he was wrong. As he dug deeper, he discovered private forums on the dark web where whispers of illegal AI advisors had already spread. They had names like Oracle X, Black Box, Shadow Trader. Each promised the same thing, AI-driven financial predictions far beyond human capability. One forum thread caught his eye. A user claimed they had made $250,000 in 3 months using Shadow Trader. The AI didn't just suggest trades. It predicted central bank moves days before official announcements. It was like insider trading without the insider. Another user bragged that Oracle X had told them to short a stock hours before bad news hit the media. When the news finally broke, the stock tanked, and Oracle's followers walked away with millions. But mixed in with the success stories were horror stories. One trader posted screenshots of their frozen brokerage accounts. Another admitted they were under investigation for suspicious trading activity. Someone else disappeared from the forum entirely after posting about receiving a visit from federal agents. Alex's curiosity turned to dread. He realized he had stumbled into something bigger than himself. A shadow market of AI-driven finance that operated outside the law. And once you entered, there was no going back. But the temptation was unbearable. Late one night, Alex uploaded his AI's latest prediction into the forum just to test the waters. Within minutes, replies flooded in. This model looks solid. Who trained this? Feels like institutional grade. Careful, bro. You're playing with fire. The next morning, the stock his AI had recommended skyrocketed. The forum exploded with chatter. People accused him of leaking insider info. Others begged him to share more predictions. That's when he received the first private message. It was short, cryptic. You don't know who's watching. Stop now. Alex froze. He didn't know if it was a troll or something more sinister. But deep down, he felt the weight of the truth. He wasn't just a hobbyist anymore. He was part of a game where the players were billion-dollar hedge funds, regulators, and shadowy operators who didn't tolerate outsiders. Meanwhile, stories kept surfacing. In London, a 22-year-old student was expelled from university after using an AI model to run a secret hedge fund from his dorm room. He had turned $5,000 into $1.2 million before regulators caught him. In Singapore, a small investment group was raided after pooling money into an AI bot that predicted currency shifts with unnatural accuracy. The government labeled it unauthorized algorithmic trading. And yet, for every cautionary tale, new believers joined the underground. Because the returns were too powerful to ignore. The deeper Alex went, the more he realized the ugly truth. The very same institutions that punished ordinary people for using AI were quietly running even more powerful systems behind closed doors. Hedge funds had entire teams building AIs to manipulate markets, front-run trades, and exploit microsecond-level inefficiencies. The message was clear. AI for the rich was innovation. AI for the rest of us was illegal. Alex began to feel trapped. He couldn't go back to normal investing after tasting the accuracy of his AI. But every step forward pulled him deeper into a forbidden world, one where the line between genius and criminal was razor thin. And then it happened. One morning, Alex logged into his brokerage account to find it completely locked. No warning this time. No explanation. Just a notice. Account suspended pending investigation. His savings, his profits, everything, frozen. He stared at the screen, his hands shaking when a new message popped up on his encrypted email. It read, "We warned you. Stop before it's too late." Alex sat frozen in front of his laptop. The red banner across his brokerage account felt like a death sentence. Years of savings, months of gains, all locked in limbo. He had crossed a line, and now the system was closing in. But it wasn't just the account. That same week, strange things began happening. His phone buzzed with unknown numbers. At night, he noticed the same black SUV parked near his apartment. Emails disappeared from his inbox. The forums he had once visited now felt dangerous, every username a potential trap. Alex wasn't paranoid, he was awake. He had touched something the financial elite didn't want touched. Because here's the truth, markets survive on belief. The belief that they are random. The belief that no one, not even the smartest human, can consistently predict them. The moment an AI proves otherwise, the whole illusion cracks. If ordinary people had access to that kind of foresight, the entire system could collapse overnight. That's why Alex had to be stopped. He tried reaching out to friends in the industry. Most ghosted him. One, a former colleague at a hedge fund, warned him bluntly. "You're playing in waters filled with sharks. Do you think you're the first to build something like this? Hedge funds have AIs 100 times more powerful than yours. The difference is, they're protected. You're not." Alex began to realize the real crime wasn't building the AI. The real crime was being ordinary and building it. Meanwhile, the whispers in the forums grew louder. Someone claimed that Shadow Trader had vanished overnight, its creators arrested in Hong Kong. Another said Oracle X was bought out by a hedge fund for $50 million, its code buried forever. Everywhere Alex looked, the same story repeated. Either you sold out or you disappeared. And then came the final blow. One evening, Alex returned home to find an envelope slid under his door. No sender, no markings, just one sheet of paper inside with a single sentence. "Stop sharing your AI, or next time it won't be your account that gets shut down." His hands shook as he read it. This wasn't a game anymore. This was survival. He powered down his servers, deleted his models, wiped his drives. But deep down he knew it was pointless. Ghosts don't die so easily. Once created, an AI like his never truly disappears. In the weeks that followed, Alex tried to return to normal life. He worked his job, paid his bills, pretended nothing had happened. But every time he opened a financial chart, he felt the ache. He knew he had held the truth in his hands. He knew he had glimpsed the forbidden. Because the best financial advice in the world doesn't come from your banker. It doesn't come from CNBC. It doesn't come from a best-selling book. It comes from the cold, calculating logic of machines. Machines so powerful they could break the system if they were unleashed. And that's why they'll never let you use them. For the elite, AI is innovation. For the rest of us, it's illegal. Alex's story is just one example of what happens when an ordinary person dares to cross that line. And if you think this is rare, think again. Across the world, thousands of others have tried. Most fail. Some succeed briefly, but all of them eventually learn the same lesson Alex did. The moment you ask AI to whisper financial secrets into your ear, you've stepped into forbidden territory. And in that territory, the rules no longer protect you. By the time Alex tried to erase his AI, the world around him had already changed. What he thought was just a small experiment in his apartment was, in truth, part of a global phenomenon, a shadow economy of forbidden algorithms. Hidden networks were trading not in cash or crypto, but in predictions. AI models were being bought and sold like black market weapons. Their value wasn't in what they were, but in what they could do. Foresee market crashes, anticipate central bank decisions, even detect subtle insider moves by analyzing data patterns invisible to the human eye. In New York, an underground group known only as the Architects allegedly built an AI capable of predicting S&P 500 swings with 94% accuracy. Rumors claimed Wall Street paid them millions to shut it down. In Dubai, a private Telegram channel called Phoenix charged members $10,000 a month for access to AI-generated financial signals, until it was raided and shut down. In China, a student collective supposedly created an AI that cracked crypto pump-and-dump schemes before they happened. The government seized it within weeks. Everywhere, the pattern was the same. When ordinary people discovered the power of financial AI, they were crushed. When the elite discovered it, they were rewarded. Alex knew this wasn't just about him anymore. He was part of something bigger, an invisible war over who gets to hold the keys to financial prophecy. And the truth was terrifying. Because while regulators banned individuals from using unauthorized financial AI, the largest hedge funds on the planet were deploying their own supercharged versions without restriction. These weren't toys. They were monsters, models running on private data, operating across markets at speeds no human could follow. And every day the gap widened. The rich had access to forbidden knowledge. The rest of the world was told to play fair in a game that was anything but fair. That's when Alex realized the cruel irony. It wasn't illegal because it was dangerous. It was illegal because it worked. Think about that. The system didn't ban these AI models because they failed, but because they succeeded too well. They broke the illusion that markets were unpredictable, that wealth was built on patience and strategy. They revealed the truth, that the game was rigged and the machine knew exactly how. Alex's story may have ended in silence, but the questions remain. How many other Alexes are out there right now, quietly building forbidden advisors in their basements? How many black market models are still whispering secrets in hidden discords and dark forums? And how long before one of them becomes too powerful to bury? The reality is simple. Financial AI isn't just technology, it's power. The kind of power governments fear, the kind of power billionaires protect, the kind of power that could collapse the illusion of randomness overnight. And here's the scariest part. Once that power is unleashed, there's no putting it back in the box. So the next time you hear about a forbidden algorithm, don't laugh it off. Don't assume it's a conspiracy theory. Remember Alex, remember the warnings, and remember this. The best financial advice in the world exists right now. It's just illegal for you to hear it, so now you know. The best financial advice you'll ever hear isn't in a book, it's not on CNBC, it's not whispered by some Wall Street guru. It's inside the machines. Artificial intelligence has already cracked the code. It knows the moves before they happen. It can see through the chaos, the noise, the lies. But here's the twist. You're not allowed to hear it. When billionaires use AI to make billions more, it's called innovation. When hedge funds deploy forbidden algorithms, it's called advanced trading. But when an ordinary person like Alex dares to do the same, it's called illegal. His accounts are frozen. His life is threatened. His AI is buried. And that's the part they don't want you to understand. It's not that the advice is wrong, it's that it's too right, too powerful, too disruptive. It exposes the system for what it really is. A rigged game, controlled by the few, guarded by laws designed not to protect you, but to protect them. Think about it. Why would governments ban AI financial advisors for ordinary people? Because they don't work, or because they work too well? Because they threaten the illusion that markets are fair? Alex's story is a warning, a glimpse into a world where knowledge isn't shared, it's hoarded. Where the richest players get to use the strongest tools, while the rest are told to play fair. And yet, the truth keeps leaking through the cracks. More Alexas will rise, more forbidden AIs will whisper secrets, and sooner or later, one of them will slip out of the shadows and change everything. And when that happens, the question won't be whether you can afford to ignore it. The question will be, are you ready to hear what the machine has to say? Because make no mistake, the future of money isn't being decided in banks or boardrooms. It's being decided in algorithms. Silent, tireless, forbidden algorithms. So if you've made it this far, you already know. The game is changing, and the only way to survive is to know the truth before they bury it. This channel exists to give you that truth, to reveal the stories they don't want told, the warnings they don't want heard, the secrets they'll do anything to silence. So hit subscribe right now and join the few who refuse to play blind in a game that was never fair. Because the next video might contain the one piece of knowledge that changes how you see money forever. And if an AI whispered the perfect financial move into your ear, the only question left is, would you take it, even if it was forbidden?